There's a ship approaching that just lost their steering. So until you get that under control, we got to stop all traffic. I was dragging, but we stopped prior to the bridge, so I'll have all outer loop traffic stopped. C-13 dispatch, the whole bridge just fell down. Start, whoever, everybody. The whole bridge just collapsed.
Simple dispatch is direct.
That's correct. I can't get to the other side, sir. The bridge is down. We're going to have to get somebody on the other side, the Anne Arundel County MSP, to get up here and stop traffic coming northbound on the T Bridge.
Our North America correspondent Barbara Miller is at the bridge in Baltimore. Barbara, some extraordinary pictures there. Can you take us through what happened?
That's right. It all began about 1:30 in the morning, and this Singapore-registered cargo ship was trying to make its way out of Baltimore Harbour. It started experiencing some technical difficulties. The power was going out, and in fact, when you look at that dramatic vision, you can see that as it approaches the Key Bridge, the lights go on and off, and they're off at the moment of impact. It collides straight into one of the supporting columns of the bridge, and really within a matter of seconds, the whole bridge collapses. Really something that, as you heard from those police dispatches, no one could have imagined it just falling into the river so quickly. Now, we know that that traffic had been stopped. What we don't know, and authorities still have not been clear on this, is whether any cars were on their way across the bridge at the time of impact, whether they were still making their way from north to south or vice versa. But we do know that there were 8 maintenance workers on the bridge. They were not able to warn them in time. 6 of those are still unaccounted for. And many, many hours after this tragedy, authorities here were saying that they still had not given up hope of finding these workers.
We should also recognize that this is an excruciating day for several families who went to bed last night having it be a normal night and woke up today to news that no one wants to receive. They are hoping and praying, and we are hoping and praying with them.
So, Barbara, beyond this unfolding human tragedy, there is going to be rippling effects elsewhere in the community. The bridge's collapse is also having a major impact outside of Baltimore as well.
That's right. I mean, first of all, the road of the bridge usually sees about 30,000 vehicles on it per day crossing that bridge. It's a major East Coast artery. And beyond that, the port of Baltimore is a very busy port. It's America's top port in terms of the import and export of cars. So the impact on supply chains is not yet clear. A number of companies saying they are finding alternative ports up and down the East Coast, but we heard from the Transportation Secretary earlier, Pete Buttigieg, who said that there would be a major and protracted impact on supply chains. Jobs, of course, also tied up here at the port, which is now closed. And we heard from the president earlier, who said he was going to try and move heaven and earth to try and get things up and running again as soon as possible. And he also wanted, he was already talking about rebuilding this bridge. An investigation, of course, has also been launched, although authorities have ruled out that this was any intentional act, any act of terrorism. And what they're saying these many hours after the accident is still that they are focused on really trying to, you'd have to think at this stage it is a recovery effort. They are still trying to locate those workers and anyone else who may have been on the Key Bridge when it collapsed in the early hours of this morning here.